Yeah, morning traders and welcome to New Trading Day Ahead. In terms of news, to familiarise yourself, we have seen conversations from Fed member Goolsbee and also from Cook. On the data front, we've seen new home sales and Dallas Fed manufacturing numbers. I'm not sure how much of those really influence the tape. To be fair, remember, we are coming off one of the best weeks for risk last week, and central bank city galore coming out last week. So a breather shouldn't be unexpected, and that's kind of what we've been seeing. However, there has been some moves to note. There has been some fairly upbeat news which need to be on the radar. Of course, a lot of people have been trading this. You can have a look at Reddit. The stock's up about 30% as I speak. So, yeah, very, very good gains coming through there. Stocks hit a high of $62. So, obviously, anyone who took part in that IPO is laughing at the moment. We've seen crypto well traded as well. I mean, we've seen Bitcoin breaking through those recent highs of 68,500. We're up about 7% or so on the net change. And we've got our eyes where we can sort of test these 14th of March highs that we saw. Obviously, people are wondering, is this anything to do with the halving? It would be interesting to see, but certainly the whole sort of crypto scene is pumping along quite nicely. You've got Ethereum looking pretty strong as well, Solana looking pretty strong. So, yeah, there's a strong crypto move playing through on the day, and certainly clients have been increasing volumes around that one as well. Going to the AI scene, Nvidia's up 1% at the moment, so small gains playing through. We've hit a high of 967, and obviously people are asking whether we can take out those recent highs of 975. Broadcom, the second big sort of AI play at the moment, up about 20 basis points as I speak, but it's Micron which continues to dominate here. The stock's up 6.4% as I speak at the moment. We're making new highs in this run, and also Supermicro computers as well. The stock's up about 7% as I speak at the moment. Taking the year-to-date gains to 269%. So obviously an absolute beast of a stock playing through. So some interesting moves on the single stock side. I think if you go into the sort of broader equity market, the S&P, the cash market's traded 52.29, 52.16, so pretty tight ranges. S&P futures trading in a 22-point range on the trading session, so not a huge amount for the day traders to work with in terms of range there. That's the second lowest range we've seen in the S&P futures for the year. I think we got about 16 points on the 8th of February, so certainly day traders working with scraps on the session there. In terms of the cash market, though, we closed down 0.3% as we did in the NASDAQ. 37% of stocks were higher on the day, so fairly poor breadth going through in the markets. We saw energy and utilities, the standout plays there. Materials have closed fairly flat. You've got tech down a touch, but at the bottom of the pack, you've got REITs and industrials taking out a few points there as well. NASDAQ, as I say, down 0.3%. Really want to see that market humming along and sort of breaking through 18,400 to get me excited about future upside there as well. But we're just seeing a bit of consolidation, which after last week is not really going to surprise too much. We've seen a bit of outperformance in small caps with the Russell closing a little bit higher on the trading session. Commodities have seen some love. We saw gold trading up to about 21.81, but when we got to those highs in US trade, we've just seen a steady bleed to where we currently are around about 21.71 at the moment. Copper's up at about 20 basis points. We've got iron ore futures a bit mixed, across the Dalian and the Singapore exchange. Not a huge amount of life coming through there, but it's the crude market which really has sprung to life today. We've got about 1.8% in crude. People are pointing out to geopolitical issues and production potential cutbacks coming through in Russia there, but crude market continuing to look pretty strong, and whether we can break out those new highs is obviously something we're watching very closely. In the FX markets, we are seeing a slightly heavy dollar. We've got the dollar index down 0.2%. We hit a low of 104.14. We've seen some good gains playing from some of the high beta names, certainly the South African Rand's been the outperformer in the EM space. You've seen MEX doing quite well, and in G10 it's the NOKI, which probably is benefiting from a higher Brent price as well. I think really the big standout was what's happening in the yuan. After the fixing yesterday from the PBOC, they kind of showed everyone, for people who are betting on a sort of disinflationary trend playing through and a weaker yuan, the fixing sort of poo-pooed that idea, and I think people had to change those bets pretty quickly. We saw dollar CNH, CNY moving very, very sharply lower on that situation. But we have seen a few dollar buyers coming back into that play, so we are going to be watching that fixing mechanism. But I think when we saw the strength coming through in the yuan, we saw strength also in the Australian dollar. So I think that fixing mechanism today is going to be very, very important as well. We do see dollar yen moving a little bit higher, following what we've been seeing in treasury yields. We've got treasury yields across the curve up about 4 or 5 basis points. We did see a reasonably strong 2-year bond auction, 66 billion auctioned off there. A bit of a mixed picture, but demand's been okay. But we are seeing high yields, and that's benefiting dollar yen. So we're sort of sitting around sort of 150, 140 or so at the moment. Again, that intervention risk from the Ministry of Finance and potentially also from the Bank of Japan, still something that we are watching very closely. Now, turning to Asia in terms of the open, we're expecting a fairly heavy open. We're calling the ASX down about 0.4%. We're expecting the Nikkei to be down 20 basis points, flat open for Hang Seng. Of course, all eyes on what we're seeing in the Nikkei after yesterday's underperformance playing through there. And we continue to watch that fixing. So big one there for currency traders to watch out for.